Hello everybody, June here from Red Daisy Crafts. So glad to be with you this Sunday for Think Creatively Sunday Live. Thanks for everybody that's jumping in. We are just a minute or two early today, but I have ambitious things planned, so I'm a little worried that I won't get through everything I have in mind. So I wanted to go ahead and jump in and just get started with some announcements. So we are, I'm going to put us down to the table just so that you can see what I am talking about. So let's see here. There we go. So we are in the July subscription period for Paper Pumpkin, and the July subscription is Sweeter with You. This just gives you an idea of what to expect in that kit. So lots of very bright pink gingham, some strawberries. It's always a surprise. This kit is only going to make 8 cards instead of the typical 9. And there's going to be 4 different designs, so 2 of each in these cards. So I also wanted to point out the add-on dies that are available. Let me see if I could get that here. So these are the new add-on dies. Oh my gosh, all these are fantastic. I don't know if you can really get a good look at this, but we have some acorns, 3 pieces to this acorn that gives you the solid back, like a doily front, so there's holes and you can see through to the solid back. Really fantastic. And then we have also some leaf images and a flower, which looks very similar to the recent petal punch that we used to have. I think it's still in the what are they calling it now? Not the clearance rack, but last chance. That's what it is. So that looks similar to the punch, but it has really great lines in it to show you. Okay, if I can get things to focus. Why are we having an issue? Let's see. What's going on? Why are we not able to focus? What is happening? I am going to come back. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on with that. Or why it's having an issue focusing. There. That was really weird. How strange. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what caused that. I'm going to have to try and pay attention. I did bring this little mat in, and I hope it's not causing the issue. I just thought I might like it to work on. So, all right, let's continue. I wanted to share with you the coordinating dies that are available for this new quarter coming up, July, August, and September. So like I was saying, there's the acorn, some leaf images, some line work that you can add to the leaves as well, and then a circle with the stitching around it. So I don't know what size this circle is, but once I get it, I'll be definitely sharing that with you. I haven't really looked online to see if that is available, that information. And then so I also wanted to share with you, so in August, We have farmhouse florals. That looks really fun. I see this like teapot and some florals, and this looks like it says always here for you. You're going to get an additional stamp set in the August paper pumpkins, so that's exciting. And we are going to have 2 stamp sets then in the month of August. So and then for September, we're going to be getting into fall. Oh, that's not September. Oh, goodness. Where did it go? I know I had it here. Here we go. So here's September, fall for toile. I love toile. I don't know if you have any love for that, but this looks really beautiful. And I can see this little fox up here. Looks like some acorns, probably is what coordinates with, but it's going to coordinate with a bundle autumn trees, amber autumn, and it looks like some really beautiful dies that can be coordinated with that out of the catalog or the online exclusives. I'm going to guess this is a catalog item because they're calling it a suite collection. And so the autumn toile suite collection is going to be coming out. So I think we will be able to see some of those things in July. And so lots of fun stuff. I also wanted to kind of share with you that if you haven't looked recently, the Mountain Majesties refill is available online. You can also get the full kit of the inked occasions. It's available online. The prior dies for the Hugs of Bloom are available. You can also get the full kit of Hello Spring. And there's also inked occasions refills available, and then a few other past die sets and things like that. So if you have not gone online to try out any of the past kits, be sure to go and do that. It looks like this is causing an issue, so I'm going to get rid of that and see if we can make that stop. So I'll have to figure that out another time. So today, because we have already spent a good amount of time creating alternates for the May paper pumpkin for Mountain Majesties. We have in the past 3 videos there was an unboxing, and throughout those 3 videos I created 10 different alternate card designs. So if you have not seen those, please go and check them out. Today what I have planned for you is to show you a couple of the online exclusive kits. And this one is, the one we're going to start with is So Much to Celebrate. This is a non-stamping kit, okay? And it creates really, the cards that the kit was designed for, they are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. This is a card that is just, it's a smaller card. So it's 3 inches by 6. And just all the layering in here and everything is just stunning. So if you haven't seen this card kit, it's definitely worth taking a look. But it's all about congratulations. So if you have, you know, I know it would have been great for graduations as well as any weddings and things like that. And I love that the colors in these are really, oh man, what is the deal? I hope we're not going to be fighting that this whole time. So the colors in these are really, I feel like, could be almost year round. Definitely spring, definitely summer, and definitely fall. But I think these are just absolutely stunning. And the dies, once you add them, are just precious. And then they come with these really, really, really cute ladybug. These are puffy. but these little ladybug embellishments. And I don't know if you know me well enough, but I love ladybugs. So I wanted to kind of share some ideas of ways that you can expand this kit. And so I have taken the elements of the kit and created several little layouts. And so I wanted to go ahead and show you those. Now I'm also bringing in the in case you don't want to only have congratulations and best wishes as your sentiments, the greetings for all mix and match, that is black and white, is a great option as well. Now I am using, I have chose to use the early espresso card base for these alternates. You could easily choose the black to have as an option, and then these would not, like, maybe if you're uncomfortable with the brown and the black being together, which I personally am not, but if that is something that bothers you, you could either go with a white card base or a black card base instead. And so I wanted to show you that. So let me grab, I thought I had it right here in front of me, but I don't. So let me just grab a piece of black cardstock just so you can see what I mean by that. So here's a piece of black cardstock. So if you were to decide that you're going to put this on black, it looks just as good as it does on the brown. I just think the brown is more aligned with the colors that I chose to use. But for example, it would be just fine with you bringing that onto a black card base and using these other sentiments. Of course, you can always stamp from the sentiments that you have available in your own, you know, whatever you have at home. And so just to give you ideas here, that's what we have. So this is a part of one of the card bases, and I just trimmed it down, and we have this is trimmed down to, I think, 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, and so that would go there. And then I have a piece here that I would trim down and a piece here that I would trim down, and I would stamp my sentiment on here because I want to use a different sentiment than the sentiments that are in the, so there's no stamping, so there's no sentiments, but for you to stamp, but there are the already pre-printed ones. So, and then I have a few flowers to bring in, and so I would just add these along here with away from the actual sentiment that we would stamp down here at the bottom. So this is just one layout. After the video, I will put all these together and take pictures and share them on in the site, and then also on my blog. But I wanted to kind of show you all the different options that you have with regard to this particular kit. So let's look at the next one. I am added also to my colors of cardstock that I am using. They are Whisper, or not Whisper White. Where does that come from after all this time? Basic White, and then also Balmy Blue, and Old Olive, and then also Petal Pink. So for this particular card, I have used a bunch of strips. They are a 1/2 inch in size, and they're just lined up here. And so you would just line them up and glue them down. So let's see here if I can just kind of show you how cute this is. And I don't want them to be like perfectly straight, even though they're all 4 inches wide by 1/2 inch. I'm going to have them kind of zigzagging across down the paper of the front of the card base. So something like that. And then this is from the back of one of the card bases. And so it's a very, very pale shade. So I'm going to say maybe 2 generations later of a balmy blue. And so that's just going to go right on here like so. We have our flowers that would get popped up. And then I could use some of the sentiments that are in that sentiment pack, the greetings for all mix and match, or I could stamp. I could find a stamp in one of my already things that I have that I could bring into this as well. And so I have here are some of these smaller sentiments that are inside that pack. All right, so that is the card design number 2. So again, I'm showing you how to make this kit double in size. So we've already made the 3 cards based on the card design, and I've showed you two designs so far. Now I have a third, so that will make 6 cards. We want to get to 18. So I am going to quickly go through this one. So now this piece here is from that smaller card base, and I have trimmed it down. This is measuring 3 inches by 5.5. Okay, so it's going edge to edge on this card base. Okay, now this is one of the pre-printed sentiments that is in this kit, and I would just basically, I would probably just trim off these little edges because this was made for a card that's 3 by 6, but my card base now is 5.5 by 4.25. And then I have I'm bringing in some of the texture foil. So I would put a little band on either end of here, just, and we would need to trim this one. I just didn't trim it down, but we're putting just a little bit of a gold accent on each end of it. Then we have this beautiful die cut here that came in the kit. That would go on the top part of this, all popped up on dimensionals. And then there's another one that basically is going along the, it would, for the card kit itself, it was intended to kind of go along the bottom of the card here. And so I have cut it apart. I think it was like this. Okay, so I have cut it apart, and we would just begin to add these on here in different areas. And I think I did kind of keep it somewhat the same, but in some places it's just different it's differently aligned. Okay, now I said all that and I forgot to say, like, I'm going to glue this down to the card base, but all of the flowers would be popped up and sort of overlapping that edge without getting this into the sentiment words itself. And that would go on there like so, and they would be put onto dimensionals. So that is the third option for layouts for this particular kit. And again, like I said, I will put all of these together. I just really wanted to show you all the little variety of options that we have. So now we have the 4th design. Yes, the 4th one. So that makes, we're on 7 and we want to get to 18. Okay, so here we have, I cut a few of these cardstock pieces. They are 2 by 3 inches. Okay, and I would put one up here, one here, and actually I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. There we go. And then this one goes down here like so. Then I have another circle that I punched out of one of the card bases, and it's the back of one of the card bases. Again, it's like a second generation of Balmy Blue. That would go right on here like so. And then we would add our floral piece, this die cut piece, and we can add sentiment coming off the side, or we could probably stamp something even right on this circle if we wanted. But I pulled these out of the little sentiment pack. Again, I don't know why I can't think of greetings for all. And so just wanted to show you a couple of ideas of how you could put these items together and just continue to expand that kit. Okay. So where did my envelope go? Just hiding. I have little grids that I've told myself what these layouts look like. That you're probably getting some of the eye on. So, all right, now here is the fifth one. And so all of these that I'm showing you, I made it with one set of the cards. So once we get through them, I have a whole nother set of the cards to repeat them. Okay, so I have an old olive piece. This is 4x4. Okay, and then this was cut from one of the card bases in the kit, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 3 inches. Okay, so this piece goes here, and it's actually gonna get, let's see if I can get this in the right spot. We're gonna actually kind of tilt this a little bit so that it's not perfectly straight on the card base. Okay, and I'm putting it a little bit in the middle, so there's about the same difference in the top and the bottom. Okay, and then this piece is going to be straight on the card, and we're going to have it just a little bit popped up over here. And I think I had it with the stripes at the top is how I had it. Okay, now we have our little I have a little strip of gold here that I was going to add to the bottom here just to give a little bit of interest there to tie to the other gold foiling on the card. And then we have the best wishes that would come here on top. Then I have this floral piece that I would put right here in the center, and then I would add this one flower up at the top, and we would put them on with dimensionals. And so then we would have that layout. Okay, and my thought here was to add some twine. You know, you would add a little bit of baker's twine to have a little bow on here as well, just to kind of flirt it up a little bit, because we have, you know, the best wishes and for weddings. And then I also have these petal pink and pretty peacock foil gems. Now, I don't think that these are, I think these are on the last chance, is what I think. But this petal pink here would work perfectly for this. And so that would be just such a nice little layout right there. And so that is our sixth card layout here. And then we will go, we're going to keep going. Okay, so we're going to get to 8. So this is number 7. Before we go to the other kit I want to share with you today, which is Heirloom Arrangements. So, oh, I just dropped something. What did I drop? Oh no, I can't see it. I wonder what it is. Let's see. We're going to find out. So this is for the inside of my card base. Okay. And then, so we have a kind of another, a little bit of a similar design, but the card is going to go this direction. Okay. And so this, again, I have basically the same card elements for this card that I had with the other one, but just a couple things different. So here I have this piece, and so I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to put it right up here like so. And then I have, this is one of the items that is in the kit. It's a pre-printed element. And I think I had this separated like so. And then if you didn't want this, you could bring this in. And I have, I knew I had black card bases out here. But if you, again, if you're uncomfortable with the early espresso and the black and white pre-printed sentiments, I want to just show you this card and what it would look like if we were to just put it on the black here. And so you can see, I mean, it's absolutely stunning on the black. But like I said, if you didn't want the congratulations, you could easily do the same layout and bring in the thinking of you. I know what I'm missing here, and that's probably what I dropped is some of the flowers, but I would have, I should have 2 of these. And so we would add the flowers on here to just pop up, and that would be kind of a similar layout to what we just showed, but in a different direction. Okay. All right. So, all right, so we are going to be getting to the last one here. I hope everybody is doing well. Please say hello in the comments. Let me know what you think. I know I am going very fast here, but I wanted to show you a lot of different options that you could use with this kit. And is this a, oh no, I think that was all 8 of them, because I think that was 8. I think we just did the 8th one. And so basically I could repeat all of those, all of these card designs that I shared with you with the other set, and then that would make 18 cards with that card kit. So like I said, I'm going to make all the pieces, put them all together so that you can see photos of them, and I'll be able to share that with you. So the next one I want to get to, and like I said, I'm going really fast here and to get through this, but I wanted to share with you the Heirloom Arrangements Kit. Have you seen this kit? It is stunning, y'all. It is so, so beautiful. And there are just so many options for it. But it is meant to create those 8 cards in there. But there's a lot of layering, and I just kept thinking about how easy it would be to literally double this kit if we just brought in some extra cardstock. So let me get out some of the things here so I can show you what comes with this kit, because it has got some really beautiful elements, and that way you can see it. So you do have stamps with this kit. This is the stamp set that comes in the kit. Really cute. Great sentiments. Thankful and grateful. I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. For you, I feel lucky to have you. And a really beautiful little butterfly and a little grunge kind of stamp right here. So we will put a couple of these together because I wanted to be able to do that with you today. So there are 5 circles on here, then there are 5 rectangles that are a little bit smaller, and then 5 that are a little larger that can be used for sentiments. as you put these together. And then you have two different envelopes that come with the kit, and the printing goes, it goes to about here on both of the, oh, this one goes all the way down the full length of this, so you do have the ability to cut these up. I only cut one up. Hey Wanda, thanks for joining. We're doing something different today, and I am talking fast just to kind of keep us rolling. And so I have a bunch of different layouts here for us to show on how we could put this, use this kit differently. All right, so here I have, this is part of a card base that comes in the kit, and it is from Cherry Cobbler. Actually, it's a I don't like it when it does that. You have this kit. Oh, lovely. And the back of that, there's a separate card base that is a really, really pale version of the pink. And so we are going to layer these. All right. So one is going to go a little bit like this. And then this one would go like that onto the card front. Then we have this really beautiful die cut that came with the kit that would go on here, and I'm bringing it down just a little bit there. And then I have this, I'm going to use, so this was from one of the card bases from the kit, and so I'm just going to bring that in behind there for us to stamp on, and then the flower would go right there on some dimensionals, and that is our first little layout. Okay, so just showing you again, my thought here is to give you ways to expand the kit. Yeah, lots of, I bet there are lots of alternates out there, and it's just a lot of fun. And all I did here was bring in some crumb cake cardstock is all I've done so far. So here, this is the card base, one of the sides of a card base. So we have this piece here. The rest of these are die cuts from the kit. So this is actually the negative of a little frame that we're going to find once we go through here. And so this would just go on here like so. I'm kind of mad that I just took my whole piece apart because I have to remember what I did. But we have our sunflower coming off the side, and then our two flowers. So we have a vellum piece and a flower piece, and they will just come up out of the back of here. I think I had this down lower like so. Yeah. And this is a little bit off the page, off that sheet. And then we have our butterfly to come in. So then we can add our sentiment to that white space right there. And that's card number 2. Okay. And then this is card number 3. Okay. So I actually have 2 pieces of the card base. That is the, I actually think this is Pretty Peacock, second generation probably. So we're going to have that as a base, and I could turn it around so that the words are going the right direction. And then we're going to layer this one on top with dimensionals. Okay. Then I have this little floral piece, and I have, this is from one of the other card bases, just a strip left over. It's like a little bit of a pink shade. So it's probably from that, the lightest card base. And then we have our butterfly. So we can figure out where the butterfly will go depending upon what sentiment we put on here. But that is the third card design. Okay, so here is card design number 4. Let me just show that to you up front. And I have just, again, this is one of the card bases. This piece here is just going to be on the left side of the card base. Here's that frame I was telling you about. Okay. And this is another die cut, as well as a couple of a vellum flower leaf here, and a looks like bubble bath almost, but I do think it's a lighter version of cherry cobbler because I believe that was the color that the kit said coordinated. So let me just double check that for you and I'll tell you the coordinating colors. So basic black. So instead of the crumb cake, you could probably put basic black as your card base for any of these. Blueberry bushel, Cajun craze, cherry cobbler, crumb cake, daffodil delight, garden green, old olive, pecan pie, pretty in pink. That's what this is, pretty in pink. And then pretty peacock. So those are the colors that this kit was created for. So this is just another, this would be for your sentiment down here to put the sentiment on. And you can see here, I just tore those edges just again to give like just a little bit of different interest. I mean, we still have on here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layering pieces. Okay. So we are not like skimping on any of these. Like they are all getting some pretty good layering options still. All right, so now I have a one that is using all three, well, 3 of the card bases because there's actually 4 different ones. And so these strips are 1 1/8 by 5. Yeah, 1 1/8 by 5. And then this piece here, you can see the score line there. I had that score. I'm going to put some twine around that. This piece is 3 inches by 1.5. And it's just going to go across the center of here. And then I have a couple of the one piece of the vellum and one of the floral die cuts that would just go right here next to it. And that is our 4th, yeah, our 5th card design. Okay. And then the next one, this is probably one of my favorites. I just love it. This little, this is bubble bath, or no, pretty in pink, lighter generations. So you can, I don't know if you can see that very well. These are die cuts that came in the kit. And I just love the color, these 3 colors together. And so this is that piece. I would put that there. The sunflower piece is going to just come out the bottom. All right, like so. And then our butterfly is going to go right on there. Now, I would probably add a little strip of paper to do my sentiment on here, unless I decided to do it right onto this layering piece. And so that is our 6th card. Okay. So what do you think? You like seeing the different ideas? I do think they're so fun. Okay, this is how this one goes. Now I have a couple of different card base pieces here. So let me just move these off here like so. So I have this card base, which is from the cherry cobbler, and then this one, which is from the pretty in pink. And so I just have one piece down here and a separate piece up here. They would just line up with just a little bit of a gap. Okay. And then because of this being a top fold card, I would do some twine around it with a bow. All right. I have one piece of greenery that's going to go in the back. Then I have another die cut I'm going to put on top of that, as well as this vellum piece and this floral piece that would go on top of there. Now I could add another sentiment strip to this on the front. or I might decide to stamp right inside there. So I just really love this layout too. I love these pinks. The pinks are really speaking to me. So this one's a little simple. It's just a piece of the card base here. This is the back of a card base, because I think this is the bluish side and that's the white side. And so there's just the card piece layer on top from the card base, this vellum floral piece, then this white piece, which is like 1.5 inches by 3 inches. That would just go right here, like so. And then we have the pink flower coming up in that, just kind of being a little bit off centered. And then this flower right here. Again, if I have a small sentiment, I could put it on here, right here, or I could have another little strip coming out to the left on here. I could add some linen thread to this, and that would be beautiful. So very, very simple. All right, now this one is also another favorite of mine. I love this blueberry bushel. I don't get to use it very often. I am putting it with this pretty peacock because there is some pretty peacock in the coloring of that die piece. And so we have our card base that we're using to make a layer onto the card. So we will start with that. We just have a little bit of like a 1/16 of an inch going around. This was, this had a whole nother half to it, making a hexagon. I cut that in half because I thought I could get more out of it if I had that cut down. This piece is kind of coming off to the side like so, and actually even more so, like that. And then we have this, which would go on with our dimensionals, and that is that piece. I would add a sentiment, either with a strip or a circle, depending upon what I decide. And then we would probably add a little bit of linen thread to this, and that would complete that card layout. All right, and then the next one, I think I've lost count now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we are at 8 now. And so let's continue because we are going to get to 16 on this one. So here is just a smaller little layering piece. It's the one with the hash marks on it. It's going to go right there in the center. We have this little label that was in the kit. Okay, that's going to go there. We're going to add this down here, and then this is just going to come off to the side. And again, we would add our sentiment to that card with a strip or one of the circles from the kit. Okay, we could also add it to the card base. I also plan to do some stamping with that grunge onto the crumb cake, because like on here where I have a lot more space in the background, I could give a little bit more interest by just stamping that hash marks stamp on the back. So here we have a piece of the cherry cobbler card base. This is just a flag that was in the die cuts for the kit. And so that would go there. This is just a little tag. I actually think I had it coming down. And then we have our butterfly on here. Again, I would add a sentiment to this, and that would complete this card layout. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a little drink real quick, because I have just been telling you so many things. Now we have a card. I think this is number 10. So again, just a piece of the card base here, like so. I believe I believe this is how this is going. I'm not sure why I had it the other direction. So I am just layering that in the center. Then this is one of the die cuts from the kit. It's the Cajun Craze. I would put this on top of here. And then I have my butterfly over here on the side. We would add a sentiment probably down here. But that is number 10, I believe. Let's see. No, this is number 12. Number 12. All right, so now we are on to 13. Okay. This is not my favorite, but it actually came together. And I think once it's all put together with dimensions and maybe some linen thread, I think it's going to be really beautiful. But do you see all the layering pieces here? I love this piece here with those vibrant colors from the butterflies. And then I have a piece of one of the card bases that I'm just adding behind here like so. And I'm only covering up a little bit of those. Then this piece here is also one of the die cuts that is from the kit. Then I have this layering piece, which is like graphic. It's really like a crumb cake with black drawings on it. It's really beautiful. And then I would just bring in this little yellow flower just to tie in the colors that are in the butterflies. So that's the design here. We would obviously